Hey, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Let's go check out our next story.
Hi, I'm Robin McGraw, and you're watching Behind the Brand.
Hey, I usually ask my guests, how'd you get this job?
A lot of people don't know my husband if I just said I'm married to Dr. McGraw. They're like, okay. But I think a lot of your viewers and your many fans would know him better if I said I'm married to Dr. Phil. Honestly, he's a wonderful man. We've had up to this point, beautiful marriage. We've known each other now over 43 years.
Are you pretty open to his suggestions? Do you ever get Dr. Phil'd?
I will say, I put down a rule. You can never Dr. Phil me. If I need Dr. Phil, I will ask for it. So we live by that rule.
This episode is all about you, and so I have so many questions. You know, the people who watch this show, they're entrepreneurs. They're in the struggle, and you know, they're in the trenches, battling it out, either mentally or physically, trying to get their thing off the ground, or they're hustling, or they've got a side gig, or maybe even they're working for the man and they're plotting their escape at some point. They've got this great idea. We talked off camera about how you basically dedicated the first part of your entire life to being a mother, and that was what you're most passionate about. And I think it's worth underscoring that there's probably no better or more important job than being a parent.
I agree. Yes, I believe that.
And so I want you to talk about kind of the transition from then to now, because you know, being a businesswoman, being a professional, launching a product like you're doing, everything that you're involved with is probably very different from your former life. Yes. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay. I believe you have to use the skills that you have. That makes a big part of it. That makes it a lot easier. Like, I'm not going to deny, I have the biggest platform ever to use to get my message out there.
People are paying
I'm not going
attention.
to ignore that. So, of course, use every skill you have. Use every contact that you have. You have to know your passion and never forget that, and never give that up. Never. Make a plan. Everything starts with a plan. Everything starts with a goal, and never turn away from that. It doesn't matter how many obstacles are in your way. Never turn away from that plan. Never turn away from that goal, because if it comes from your heart, it's going to happen. That's what I believe. In fact, the reason I named my company Robin McGraw Revelation comes from my own personal revelation that I had 31 years ago.
Which was what?
Well, I was on the telephone with my mother, and we had just moved into a house that, in the middle of the night, that we needed to do a lot of work on. And my mother was going to come over and help me unpack and get settled. And I got a phone call from her, and she said, sweetheart, I'll be over in a sec. And I said, great. And she said, but for some reason I'm feeling kind of funny. And when I said, what do you mean by funny? I did not know that when she said, I'm feeling kind of funny, she was dying right then. Those were her last words she would ever speak to me, to anyone. She was dying right then. When I asked her, what do you mean by funny? She was already gone. And I hung up the phone thinking we had been disconnected, and it rang again. And when Philip walked into the room, he picked it up, and I heard my father screaming. I heard Philip say, call an ambulance. We raced over there, and he walked outside to me where I was in shock, and he said, she's gone. And I remember looking at him saying, what? And he goes, she's gone, I'm sorry, she's gone. And I said, you've got to be kidding. She's never been sick a day in her life. She's never even been to the doctor. And right then I had my revelation. Right then when I said she's never even been to the doctor, I thought, my revelation was she never put herself first. She never, ever took care of herself. She always put me, my twin brother, my 3 older sisters, my father, everyone else came first. And I thought, I can't do it. My revelation was I will not perpetuate her legacy of self-neglect, because my entire life I wanted to be just like my mother. I wanted to be the woman, the wife, the mother, the grandmother that she was. She taught me the strength of a woman. And I have always wanted to be just like her.
Well, it sounds like she gave you that gift, that revelation as well.
She did. She did. I knew right then I needed to take care of myself, not only
Yeah.
on the inside, but the outside, so that I could be here to take care of those I love.
Wow.